Joining me now, Academy Award-winning documentary filmmaker Michael Moore. Michael, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Can you just say that last sentence again? It's losing his grip.
But it is kind of interesting, right? What Greenberg is writing is that some of Donald Trump's very faithful base, as we like to call it, in rural America is turning on him. That is.
Well, look what happened where I live in Michigan. The three states that gave Trump the presidency, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, all went blue 2 weeks ago. Democratic governors, Democratic senators in Michigan. We have a supermajority now in the Michigan Senate. 4 women at the top run the state. 2 women, Democrats, turned over 2 Republican seats in the Detroit area. So all of this is not surprising, what you just said, or what Stan Greenberg wrote in the Times. If I'm anything tonight, I'm of a belief that we can take what we learned in a place like Michigan, and really, really crush it in 2020. But it will take some work, and it'll take the Democrats who got elected 2 weeks ago to really show the voters that they are going to do something, that they're going to stand for something. So their performance in these 2 years is very important. It's going to take a recruiting team to get beloved Americans running for office in 2020.
But we saw some of that.
We saw,
see a Congress now that looks more like the face of America than we've seen in a long time.
More of that, and there was another story, I think it was in the Times, where they showed that those who ran out of the center and toward the left had a better chance of winning 2 weeks ago than those who thought, well, I better play this more conservatively as a Democrat. Those people lost. The people who ran more liberally won. And we need to, again, build on that. But I think here's the lesson I learned in Michigan, is that ballot proposals are the answer. George W. Bush and the Republicans knew this in 2004. They put 14 ballot measures in 14 states to outlaw gay marriage, to make it illegal.
That motivated people
to the polls,
who otherwise may not have gone to the polls.
And so Bush won his first popular vote in 2004, reelected, because they had all those people coming out. This is what we did in Michigan 2 weeks ago. We had a ballot proposal to legalize marijuana. Largest turnout of young people in we don't know when. Came out to the polls. We had a ballot proposal to outlaw gerrymandering, make that part of the Constitution, and form a citizens bipartisan, nonpartisan commission. No politicians can be on the commission that will draw the map.
So let me just draw the distinction.
And that brought out a whole nother group of voters.
With legalizing marijuana, that was going to happen if the vote went through. With the gerrymandering, it wasn't going to change any of the districts in Michigan, obviously in that election, but it brought people out who are sick and tired of these stupid-shaped constituencies all across America. I mean, it's a laughingstock of the democratic world that we've got these constituencies, these districts that are long and skinny and take turns and look like a salamander, hence the name gerrymander.
So by taking a stand and putting that on the ballot, African-American vote, so many people came out that didn't vote in 2016, and they came out. This is the way you bring people out who are, they don't vote that much, or they don't like the politicians, or the Democratic Party has not been responsive to them. They could vote on a particular issue. So we need to, on the ballot in 2020, have ballot proposals, especially in the swing states, for legalizing marijuana, for free college, for the Equal Rights Amendment for women, and to outlaw gerrymandering. People right now they should talk about this tomorrow at dinner. And by the way, at dinner tomorrow, your conservative brother-in-law, this year, don't make him sit at the kids' table. Let him sit at the main table. We should be generous in victory. Be kind to him. And let him know that the things that we're going to push for, he's going to benefit.
So explain that.
Too.
Tell me why my conservative brother-in-law should think that figuring out a way to fix gerrymandered districts is good for him.
Well, I'll tell you, to any Trump voter, I think, and this is why Utah passed a anti-gerrymandering thing. They know we're coming. They know the Democrats, the liberals, we're the majority of the country. We already know that from the 2 years ago. We know it from the popular vote this month. They know we're coming, and when we're back in power, and we've got the House and the Senate and the White House, they don't want those gerrymandering laws that they've been benefiting from. They want to fix that now. So you actually found that Republicans are voting, smart Republicans are voting for this because they're going to be the negative beneficiary, not the...
They'll be on the wrong side of that.
On the wrong side of that. So basically, it's in their best interest for all of us to get rid of gerrymandering and any kind of voter suppression. And that's what we did in Michigan.
Kind of fascinated by the voter suppression?
That brought out a whole new bunch of people.
The degree to which voter suppression is alive and well in America, in Kansas, in Georgia. I mean, it's kind of remarkable that it's getting worse. We should be trying to get people out to vote any way possible. And fortunately, lots of people did come out and vote this time.
Right.
But why we are putting impediments to people voting, the signature match law in Georgia is just stupid. Cindy McCain herself said sometimes she signs Cindy McCain, sometimes she signs C. McCain.
Anti-American.
It's anti-American.
And it's to the troops who Trump does not respect, who he used as a photo op down on the border for the election. And who he never bothers to visit, never bothers to say a good word about them. You know, they volunteer to risk their lives so that we get to have certain basic democratic rights. The most basic democratic right is the right to vote, is the right for you and I to have a say. If that is denied to any American, all of us should be shamed by this. It's the absolute worst thing to do. People have died in many of our families in past wars or whatever, and to dishonor their death so that we could have this by trying to rig the system so that those who don't have the most votes can end up with the most seats. It's like...
Which has happened a lot in this country. I mean, the number of voters disenfranchised by these laws in Georgia, as an example, I mean, we're not talking about tens of thousands. We're actually talking about hundreds of thousands of people.
Right, but what I say to Republicans is why... How do you feel when you win a game and you know that you won it because
it was rigged?
It was rigged, or the table shifted, or you only had to run the ball back 80 yards instead of 100 yards. How do you feel about that? I mean, do you feel like you're the winner? I wouldn't feel good about it. You know, when I was in junior high school, I was playing basketball, and I was over in the far corner, and I did a hook shot from the far corner where the two out-of-bounds lines meet. And I saw my foot go out of bounds, and it went over my head, and I made a swish in the basket. And the refs didn't see it, and I said to the ref, I stepped out of bounds. And the coach was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, it wasn't a fair basket. How would I feel if we won and it was because of that basket, which I know wasn't right because I'd stepped out of bounds?
I'm not sure everybody in the country is burdened with that.
Well,
morality.
Aren't we all raised that way to know what's right and wrong? It's so basic.
You and I,
it's not Democratic or Republican, is it? Isn't it basic?
You and I were raised on two sides of another border. You're from Michigan. I'm from Toronto. Cold places. We're used to the cold. Tonight, President Trump tweeted about the cold. He said, "Brutal and extended cold blast could shatter all records." Whatever happened to global warming?